Rampage to watch, one time only your specific person will come. What if this is the last time you ever need to search for another answer? What if, by the end of this rampage, something shifts so deeply inside you that the version of your life you've been waiting for begins unfolding naturally? Your specific person is not separated from you by distance, time, or circumstance. They are only separated by the story you continue to tell yourself. Today, that story ends. This is not about forcing someone's free will or chasing after love. It is about awakening the creative power already within you and remembering that your inner world is the blueprint from which your outer world is built. Every loving message, every heartfelt conversation, every joyful reunion, and every beautiful moment together first begins as a belief accepted within your own consciousness. If you can see it, feel it, and claim it as yours before your physical eyes confirm it, then you have already set an invisible force into motion. For the next few minutes, allow yourself to release every doubt, every painful memory, every fear of rejection, and every old assumption that tells you your desire is impossible. Those thoughts no longer define your future. From this moment forward, you are choosing certainty over uncertainty, faith over fear, and love over lack. Imagine your specific person thinking about you with warmth, smiling without knowing why, feeling drawn toward you with increasing intensity, and finding every reason to reconnect. You do not have to make this happen. You only have to become the version of yourself who knows it already has. This is your invitation to step into a new identity, one where you are deeply loved, joyfully chosen, and naturally prioritized. Listen with an open heart. Feel every word as if it is already your reality. Let these assumptions become your truth until they feel more real than your current circumstances. Because when your inner reality changes, the outer world has no choice but to follow. This is your moment. This is your shift. And this is the one time you decide that love is no longer something you chase. It is something that effortlessly comes to you. Everything begins within you. Before a single text is sent, before a phone rings, before footsteps move toward your door, before your specific person says a single word, something invisible changes first. That change happens in your consciousness. The world you experience is not randomly unfolding against you. It is continuously reflecting the assumptions you accept as true. If you have been telling yourself that they are distant, confused, unavailable, or moving on, those beliefs quietly shape the reality you continue to witness. But the beautiful truth is that the moment you change the story within, the reflection outside begins to transform as well. This is why your greatest power has never been in convincing another person. It has always been in choosing what you believe about yourself and your relationship. Today, make a bold decision. Refuse to identify with old disappointments. Refuse to replay painful conversations or imagine unfavorable outcomes. Instead, begin seeing yourself as someone who is deeply loved, naturally chosen, and impossible to forget. Imagine your specific person thinking of you throughout the day with warmth and affection. Picture them smiling unexpectedly because your presence fills their mind. Hear them speaking lovingly about you, remembering your kindness, your laughter, and the connection you share. Allow these scenes to become familiar, not because you are pretending, but because you are training your mind to accept a new reality. Every assumption repeated with feeling becomes a seed planted in the subconscious, and every seed eventually grows into visible experience. Do not become discouraged if your physical world seems unchanged at first. A seed beneath the soil appears invisible long before it breaks through the surface. Yet beneath that silence, life is already unfolding. In the same way, every loving thought you consistently entertain is creating unseen movement. Circumstances are shifting, hearts are softening, opportunities are aligning, conversations are preparing themselves before you can see them. Trust the process even when your eyes cannot yet confirm it. Your faith is not built upon appearances. It is built upon the understanding that consciousness always comes first. The more you return to the feeling of already being loved, the less you will feel the urge to chase, question, or force outcomes. Peace replaces anxiety because you know that what you have accepted internally must eventually appear externally. Instead of asking, When will they come? Begin affirming, they are already finding their way to me. Instead of wondering whether they still care, remind yourself that love naturally grows where your attention consistently rests. Become emotionally loyal to the version of reality you wish to experience. Let gratitude fill your heart as though your reunion has already happened. Walk through your day with quiet confidence, knowing you are no longer waiting for love to arrive. You are expressing the consciousness that produces it. The outer world may have once reflected uncertainty, but from this moment forward it begins reflecting certainty, harmony, and connection. Hold firmly to this truth. When your inner world changes, your outer world cannot remain the same. The movement you seek begins the instant you become the person who no longer doubts that love is already yours. And every assumption you faithfully nurture today becomes tomorrow's undeniable reality. The greatest transformation begins the moment you stop measuring your worth by another person's actions and start recognizing yourself as the source of the love you desire. Chasing comes from the belief that something important exists outside of you, while true attraction begins when you realize that everything you seek first awakens within your own consciousness. If you constantly check your phone, analyze every message, replay old conversations, or wonder why your specific person has not reached out, you unknowingly keep reinforcing the idea that they are absent. Your attention remains fixed on lack, and your emotions continue confirming separation. Today, make a different choice. Decide that you are no longer the person waiting to be chosen, you are the person who already is. Feel the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are deeply valued, genuinely appreciated, and effortlessly loved. Imagine waking each morning with complete certainty that your relationship is unfolding perfectly, even if you cannot yet see every step. Walk through your day carrying the calm assurance that your specific person enjoys thinking about you, misses your presence, and feels naturally drawn toward reconnecting. This is not about pretending or denying your current circumstances. It is about giving greater authority to the reality you are consciously creating than to the temporary appearances surrounding you. Every time fear whispers that nothing is changing, answer it with a stronger assumption. Everything is moving in your favor. Every time doubt suggests they have forgotten you, gently replace that thought with the conviction that your connection grows stronger every day. Your subconscious mind accepts what you repeatedly impress upon it, and your consistent inner conversations become the script that life faithfully performs. Instead of imagining rejection, imagine joyful conversations. Instead of expecting silence, hear them saying your name with affection. Instead of picturing distance, see yourselves sharing peaceful moments together, laughing freely, and feeling completely comfortable in each other's presence. As these scenes become emotionally familiar, your identity begins to shift. You stop behaving like someone who fears losing love and begin living as someone who naturally attracts it. This inner shift changes your energy in ways that cannot always be explained but can always be felt. You become more peaceful, more confident, more grateful, and more emotionally free. That calm confidence influences every area of your life because you are no longer depending on external validation to feel complete. Ironically, it is this state of wholeness that makes you magnetic. Love is drawn to those who embody it rather than chase it. When you become the version of yourself who expects respect, devotion, kindness, and commitment, you naturally begin noticing opportunities, conversations, and experiences that reflect those expectations. Even if your specific person has been distant, circumstances are never fixed. People change, hearts soften, perspectives evolve. New decisions are made every day. What appears impossible today can become effortless tomorrow, because reality is always responding to the assumptions you consistently maintain. So release the need to force, persuade, or control. Stand firmly in the identity of someone who is already loved beyond measure. Let your thoughts, emotions, and imagination reflect that truth until it becomes your dominant state of being. The more faithfully you live from that inner certainty, the more naturally your outer world begins to mirror it. And the person you have been thinking about finds themselves moving toward you in ways that once seemed unimaginable. One of the most powerful decisions you will ever make is to stop waiting for physical evidence before allowing yourself to feel fulfilled. The world often teaches you to believe only what you can see, but true transformation begins when you reverse that order. First you believe, then you see. First you accept, then you receive. Your imagination is not an escape from reality. It is the creative workshop where tomorrow's experiences are designed. If you desire a joyful reunion with your specific person, do not spend your days imagining reasons why it cannot happen. Instead, give your attention to the reality you choose to experience. Close your eyes and picture the moment you have longed for. Imagine seeing their name appear on your phone, not with surprise, but with the calm expectation that it was always going to happen. Hear the warmth in their voice as they tell you how much they have missed you. Feel the happiness of being together again, laughing effortlessly, speaking honestly, and enjoying a connection that feels stronger than ever before. Do not treat these moments as distant fantasies. Experience them as memories of something that already belongs to you. The subconscious mind responds to emotional conviction far more than repeated words. When your imagination is filled with gratitude, peace, and certainty, you impress upon your inner mind the belief that your desire is already fulfilled. As that belief becomes natural, your reactions begin to change. You stop fearing silence because you no longer interpret it as rejection. You stop worrying about time because you understand that unseen movement is always taking place. Every day, countless circumstances are shifting beyond your awareness. Thoughts are changing. Emotions are evolving. Unexpected opportunities are forming. The path that leads your specific person back into your life can be unfolding even while everything appears quiet on the surface. This is why persistence matters so deeply. You are not persisting because you are trying to convince reality to cooperate. You are persisting because you are remaining faithful to the version of reality you have already accepted within yourself. Refuse to let temporary appearances become permanent conclusions. Refuse to let one difficult day erase the certainty you have carefully built. Every loving assumption you return to strengthens the foundation of your new identity. Begin speaking to yourself as someone whose relationship is already secure. Let your inner conversation reflect appreciation instead of fear. Imagine your specific person thinking kind thoughts about you, remembering your best moments together, and feeling inspired to reconnect. Allow these inner experiences to become more familiar than the old stories of separation and disappointment. As you consistently occupy the emotional state of reunion, your confidence grows naturally. You no longer wonder if you are worthy of love because you experience that love internally first. The reunion stops feeling like a distant possibility and begins feeling like the most natural outcome. This inner certainty creates peace, and that peace becomes your greatest strength. You are no longer living in hope alone. You are living in expectation. You are walking each day with the quiet confidence that what you have already accepted in consciousness is steadily making its way into visible form. Stay loyal to that feeling. Protect it from doubt. Nourish it with gratitude. Live from the end instead of longing for the beginning, and trust that every assumption held with faith and consistency becomes a reality, reflected back to you in perfect time. Dr. Vincent is the quiet power that transforms an unseen possibility into an undeniable reality. It is not about forcing events to happen or struggling against circumstances. It is about remaining faithful to the truth you have chosen within yourself, even when the outer world has not yet caught up. Too many people give up just before everything begins to change, because they allow temporary appearances to convince them that nothing is happening. They see silence and assume rejection. They see distance and assume the connection has ended. They see delays and assume the opportunity has been lost. Yet circumstances are never final. They are only snapshots of past assumptions, and just as they were created, they can also be replaced. Every loving thought you consistently return to plants another seed in the fertile ground of your subconscious. Those seeds do not disappear simply because you cannot see them growing. Like a tree developing deep roots beneath the surface, your new reality is forming long before it becomes visible. This is why your responsibility is not to constantly check for evidence, but to remain loyal to the feeling that your desire is already fulfilled. Imagine your specific person already moving toward you, already thinking differently, already feeling the urge to reconnect, even if you have no physical proof. Continue to greet each day with the confidence that everything is unfolding perfectly. When doubt appears, do not fight it with fear. Simply replace it with the assumption that serves your future. If your mind says nothing is changing, answer with everything is aligning in ways I cannot yet see. If it whispers, it's too late, remind yourself. The perfect moment is unfolding right now. Every time you choose faith over fear, you strengthen your new identity. Every time you return to the feeling of being loved, chosen, and valued, you weaken the old patterns that once kept you trapped in uncertainty. Persistence is not measured by how many affirmations you repeat, but by how consistently you refuse to abandon the version of yourself who already has what you desire. Live your daily life from that identity. Smile because love already belongs to you. Speak because confidence already lives within you. Make decisions from peace rather than desperation. The more natural this new state becomes, the less you will feel the need to chase signs or demand immediate proof. Instead, you will recognize that every day is another opportunity to deepen your certainty. Even when nothing appears to be happening, invisible changes are taking place. Hearts soften, misunderstandings dissolve, new thoughts arise, unexpected meetings become possible. What once seemed impossible quietly becomes inevitable, because consciousness always leads and circumstances always follow. Refuse to let one disappointing moment erase weeks of inner growth. Refuse to return to old stories simply because the old reflection has not completely disappeared. Keep choosing the reality you want until it feels more familiar than the reality you are leaving behind. That is the secret of persistence. It is unwavering loyalty to your chosen future, regardless of present appearances. When you remain emotionally committed to the end result, instead of reacting to temporary conditions, you create a powerful inner stability that no circumstance can shake. And eventually, without struggle or force, the outer world begins reflecting the conviction you have faithfully carried within, proving that persistence is never wasted. It is always preparing the way for the reality you have already claimed as your own. The final and perhaps most life-changing realization is this. You were never meant to spend your life chasing love. You were created to embody it. The moment you stop seeing yourself as someone searching for affection and begin identifying as someone who naturally radiates love, everything around you starts to change. Your specific person is not responding merely to your words or your actions. They are responding to the version of you that you consistently accept within your own consciousness. If you secretly believe you are unworthy, overlooked, or difficult to love, those assumptions quietly shape your experiences. But when you awaken each day with the certainty that you are valuable, deeply appreciated, emotionally secure, and naturally unforgettable, your entire presence changes. You no longer seek reassurance because you already carry it within yourself. You no longer wonder if you are enough because you have accepted that you always have been. This inner confidence creates an atmosphere that is calm, inviting, and magnetic. Imagine walking through each day, knowing that love follows you wherever you go. Imagine speaking with quiet confidence because you already feel chosen. Imagine smiling without needing a reason because your heart is no longer waiting for permission to be happy. This is the state that transforms your relationships. When your happiness is rooted within, rather than dependent upon someone else's behavior, you become emotionally free. Ironically, it is this freedom that often draws people closer. There is something deeply attractive about a person who is at peace with themselves, who expects kindness, who naturally assumes good things, and who refuses to define their future by yesterday's disappointments. Let this become your new identity. Instead of wondering whether your specific person misses you, assume they think about you with affection every day. Instead of questioning whether they will return, quietly know that every step of life is guiding them toward the relationship you both deserve. Instead of fearing that time is running out, Trust that every moment is perfectly preparing the reunion. Your imagination is not simply creating comforting thoughts. It is establishing the emotional blueprint that your subconscious accepts as reality. Fill that blueprint with scenes of love, respect, commitment, laughter, peace, and mutual understanding. Feel gratitude before there is visible evidence, because gratitude signals that your heart already believes it has received what it desired. Continue to nourish this feeling until it becomes your natural way of living. Soon you will notice that your reactions are changing. You worry less, you smile more. You expect good news instead of bad. You naturally speak with confidence rather than fear. These inner shifts are not small. They are the beginning of a completely different life experience. Every loving assumption you consistently maintain becomes part of your identity, and your identity shapes every relationship you experience. Never forget that the greatest attraction is authenticity rooted in self-belief. You do not need to force love, manipulate circumstances, or convince anyone of your value. Your role is far simpler and far more powerful. Become the person who already lives in the reality you desire. Walk with certainty. Think with confidence. Feel with gratitude. Love yourself with the same devotion you wish to receive. As you do, your outer world begins reflecting the transformation that has already taken place within. The relationship you have been imagining no longer feels like a distant dream. It becomes the natural expression of the person you have chosen to become. And when you consistently live as the embodiment of love itself, you discover that what is truly meant for you is drawn to you with ease, harmony, and perfect timing.